Good morning, good morning, Prep News family. Hey, back again, man. It's a tremendously terrific Tuesday. Uh, Back again, trying to figure out how to best give exposure, love, create memories, build bonds. So today we have a really great guy that's gonna be a part of the first segment of the show. Uh, yeah, so hey, after this break, we'll be back. Uh, Give us about 35 seconds. All right, we're back, man. Again, tremendously terrific Tuesday morning. Prep News back once again, talking high school sports. Joining us this morning is Northwood Falcons head football coach Austin Brown. Good morning, Coach. Welcome, Prep News.
Thank you for having me.
Oh no, man! It's definitely our honor and our pleasure to have Northwood Falcons football here. First time, first time. Hopefully, definitely won't be your last. Uh, how's it going this morning in the Shreveport area?
It's good. It's going to be a hot day today. We got practice later, 3 o'clock. Get prepared for that and in the test, all that. Get to be ready to get out of school and start.
Right. So, hey, tell us a little bit about Austin Brown and how you got to this point in life as a head football coach.
Yeah, I'm from Oklahoma. Went and played in college in Kansas and coached at Northwestern State for a handful of years. Met my wife and got 2 daughters and a son. I've been at Northwood for 5 years as defensive coordinator and head coach. This will be my third year coming up as the head coach. I've actually passed off defensive coordinator to one of my assistants, so it'll be a little bit of an adjustment. It'll be my first time not calling the defense. I don't know how I feel about that, but we'll see. But no, I love Louisiana. I love the culture. I love the life. Everybody has so much life in them. Louisiana, it's very special. Somebody that's been out of state and grew up in a different state. It's very refreshing and a joy to be here in Louisiana.
So let's get this out of the way. I know you're from Oklahoma because you just said it, but are you a seafood guy or are you a barbecue guy? Which one have you grown to love here in our great Southern cuisines?
I actually never ate any seafood until the day I moved down to Louisiana. Never any catfish, nothing. But I'm still a meat and potato guy. I'm barbecue.
A little bit on me.
Sorry, we just had a crawfish boil, 300 pounds of crawfish on Thursday for the football team.
Wow.
Took about 6 hours to prep and cook, and the boys loved it. I didn't really eat that much of it. It's a lot of work for a little piece of meat and that crawfish. Plus, being from Oklahoma, I can't handle them spices too well.
Yeah. I was a part of a amateur crawfish boil off a couple of weekends ago, and they did like probably close to 750 pounds of
Wow.
crawfish, 20 different boilers, 22 different boilers. All of them had different philosophies as to what makes their crawfish great. So, yeah, I do a little sucking the head and shucking the tail. I like a
Yeah.
little crawfish,
Yeah.
and I'm probably more of a crawfish and shrimp guy now. Now that I crossed over the hill, than
Mm-hmm.
a steak guy. Steak is for young guys who need a lot of energy. I don't need that much energy anymore. Just let me catch 2 pounds of shrimp and I'm good.
Yeah.
So you guys have been atop the food chain in 4A and football the last couple of years. What are some of the principles and philosophies that have helped you guys get there?
I think one of the big things is we, 5 years ago when I got here, we sat down and said, we've got 2 or 3 guys, 4 or 5 guys every year that are as good as anybody in the state. But some of the teams that were playing, Edna Cars and Warren Eastons, they got 15 to 20 guys. How can we try and even the playing field? And so we went old school and developed a philosophy of our best guys are going to play both ways.
Right.
A lot of schools, 4A, 5A, don't believe in that, and we set the tone in January, conditioning, mentally preparing them that you're going to play 100 snaps a game, and they take it as a badge of honor to be almost like your special forces if you're a two-way player.
Right.
So, basic math, instead of having 4 or 5 studs, now we've got studs based on playing multiple positions, offense and defense, special teams. I think that's really helped us in the last few years and set us above competition.
It definitely two things that should happen. One thing's for certain is it having your better players play both ways. It gives you a better opportunity to compete and win games that possibly would be a little more stringent for you to win. But the second thing, and the more important that I take from that is, hey, you guys that are sitting on the bench, this is your opportunity to get off the bench and get into the game by you working on your skill set, either through a trainer or, hey, coach, I need extra, can we stay early or come in early or stay late? It offers an opportunity for younger athletes to grow into who they are. Now, granted, it may light a little fire under your butt, but sometimes lighting a little fire under their butts is not necessarily a bad thing. The process of the transference of, hey, you're going both ways now, or are you guys saying, hey, these are key important things that you need to do in order to be able to do this? I need you to eat better. You have to be more serious in the weight room. What was that conversation like with the guys individually that you guys had tasked to be two-way players?
Yeah, I think we do. I'm glad you hit on that. I think we do a better job than probably anybody in the state in nutrition and treating our guys right and treating their bodies right. I spend about $1,000 a week on snacks and food for my. We put it out we go to put it out on the locker room table and make sure we weigh them every day. But we're constantly feeding our guys. We spend a lot of money on food, nutrition, trying to working closely with our sports trainer on nutrition and what we can do to keep our guys hydrated and gaining weight and making sure that weight stays on through the grueling summer and fall season.
Right. So yesterday we had one of your district competitors on in Coach Thad Harris at Woodlawn Shreve. He talked about the process of skill set development and strength and conditioning as to where it's a bunch formation type deal where all of the athletes come together to get the basic skill set and development, which I thought was fundamental because you know here in the state of Louisiana, you just don't hear that. And so now when the kids go to their respective sports, instead of coaches having to work on skill set and development, strength and conditioning, they've already done that part of the process throughout some part of the day, and now they only need to work on IQ, whatever the base plays are you're running, and all that stuff within whatever the sport is you're playing. What's you guys' philosophy on skill set development, strength and conditioning?
Yeah, we are actually the only public school in Shreveport Bossier with a dedicated strength and conditioning coach. That's all he does is strength and conditioning. He's certified. Most high schools just have a football coach doing it, and although they may be good, they don't specialize in it, and they don't.
Right.
They're not experts in it. Because they're football coaches, and so we went out and hired a young guy to be our strength and conditioning coach. He does a really good job. I think one of the things that's underutilized is the skill of knowing how to win.
Right.
We teach. We have a lot of competitions. We compete a lot, and I think it's huge. One, for competitiveness, but for two, the skill that we teach is winning. And then, of course, as far as football skills and everything, that's priority number one, is to have skilled athletes in their specific sport, and that comes down to the actual sport coaches.
Right. Understood and agreed that more schools definitely need their own individualistic strength trainer, strength and conditioning coach. What like so okay, let me make sure I don't want to be disrespectful to any school who isn't or doesn't have the financial backing of their administration or school board, school district. um how was the process of you saying, hey, Dr. whatever your principal's name is, I can't remember it right now, but I know he used to be the basketball coach there at
Yeah,
Northwood.
yeah, Shane.
um what was that conversation like when you went to him and said, hey, I need a strength and conditioning guy, and for him to agree with it, because a lot of times that just doesn't happen.
Yeah, actually, we are completely self-funded. We get no money from Cattle Parish School Board. We get no money from Northwood High School. Everything we get is fundraise, ticket sales, or donation from the community.
Okay.
So we actually pay for the strength and conditioning coach out of the football bank account, I guess you could say. But no, Mr. Wall is pro sports. He's pro Northwood, pro Blanchard. Anything that is going to set us above or give us a shot at being better, he's going to accept it. I try and come to him if I've got a problem or a situation. I don't just come with the problem. I come with the solution to the problem. Sometimes he says no. Sometimes he says yes. I make sure that if I say, hey, we're this can set us above, here's the plan. Um, Sometimes we tweak the plan together. Sometimes he changes it, and sometimes he says, let's roll. So in this situation, he said, roll, let's roll, and we haven't looked back.
Right, right. Uh, Young coach, who did you come up under, and where did it get your, we don't know who we are going to become as coaches, or how the process of us getting to be a coach that's able to motivate, instill discipline and tenacity into our youth. But what coaches did you come up under, and how'd you get to be the guy you are as a coach now?
Yeah, first would be my grandpa played for the New York Yankees in the early '60s. Taught me, how to compete, how to be an athlete, how to be a professional. Um, and then I coached under Brian Ward, or I played under Brian Ward, who is a defense coordinator at Washington State right now. Joe Picasso, who's a defense coordinator at Missouri Southern. Bradley Del Pivito, who's the defense coordinator at Texas El Paso. Um, all are guys with a lot of life, disciplined guys uh, but the thing, they love their kids, they love their athletes, so much so that they're going to hold their feet to the fire and make sure they do the right thing. And I think that's kind of been my coaching philosophy as well. Sometimes these young kids, and even when I was young, we think discipline is bad, and when we're held accountable, we Uh, but as you get older, you find out that being held accountable and being disciplined uh, is actually love. They
Right,
care for you and want to see you succeed, and so sometimes kids take it personal at that level, and in a couple years after high school, they come back and say, "Coach, I would have listened." You know,
right, right. I remember the first time that happened to me. Um, kid who had just graduated from East Ascension High School, um, was like, man, I just want to tell you, thank you for not giving up on me, not allowing me to quit as well. And it gives you a special feeling in your heart that a kid not only listened to the words and kind of life lessons that you're giving him from your experiences, but then applied some of that stuff that he's heard to his own life to help make him be better. So that that makes you feel really good, gives you that warm, fuzzy feeling, as they say, on the inside. But the again, I think maybe the better question is, as a coach, you for football, you are either offense, defense, special teams, and did you know that you were going to be a defensive side of the ball guy, or did you just was defense something that you just fell in love with?
yeah, I think my personality fits. Being a defensive guy. I think nothing against offensive guys, but defensive guys kind of got to have a couple screws loose in their head, and you gotta be a different cat to want to hit people and uh, and stop another human being from going where they want to go. So my
Right,
personality kind of fit that side of the football, and I've always gravitated to it. It's a chess match. Everything is so reactive on defense. Um,
right.
and so I love the chess piece of it as well.
Especially when guys are Ferrari fast, and say, for instance, it's a Leonard Fournette or a Sion Palele, or several other guys, a Greedy Williams from y'all area back in his time in high school, that was just fast, powerful, decisive. Yeah, you gotta have a few screws loose to want to hit guys like that.
Yeah.
So um, you go from being the defensive coordinator to the head coach, defensive coordinator. once you became the head coach, did the process of picking a coaching staff, was it I need new guys, or did you keep the guys that you have been fighting with as a DC?
Yeah, no, we've got the same staff. In fact,
Great.
I've got three coaches that have been on. Were under me as DC. I've now promoted uh, Jarrett Taylor to defensive coordinator from that staff. So we've been together 5 years. We know our ticks. We know how we think and how we get after it, and we're same philosophy as so. Uh, even though I'm not quote unquote defense coordinator anymore, I still think defense will be run the correct way, and above all else, they're going to get after you.
You right there when he's sending the next play in, or got that got that headset on, saying, "Hey, would I run that? Would I call that on this down and distance? Well,
It'll
is it
it'll be an
one of
adjustment.
those philosophies?"
No, it'll be an adjustment. I think when I was defense coordinator, I took a lot from them and took their opinion, and sometimes they gave me the call on third down, and I got the the attaboys for the good call, but sometimes it was their call. So uh, these guys are ready, and I'm excited to watch them. Once we get into the season.
Going from assistant head coach to head coach, you the value of what or how practice is ran, how it's governed, how coaches govern themselves. Is it a situation where you coach your coaches on how to be better coaches, or is it a trial and error or trial by fire stance that you guys have as far as helping your coaches be better to be able to better communicate with your student athletes?
Yeah, I think that's been what I've tried to do as a head coach is coach the coaches and taking notes throughout practice on what we could do better or how to be more efficient during practice. Uh, it's I think that's the head coach's responsibility is to make sure to step back and let your coaches coach, but uh, you know you develop your coaches while they develop the athletes.
Right. That's awesome, man. Let's shift gears a little bit. I think we've been cruising between second and third. Let's shift let's shift a couple of times. Maybe get the fifth gear, and not that we want to speed it up, but we want to show that you're quick and not fast. Fast gets tired. Quick can make a move in any situation and be by you.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about offense. Some of the things that you guys have been able to do well offensively over the last couple of years, and the guys that have helped you get to that point. But the guys that you're looking at right now during spring football to help you guys see where you're at and what you need to work on as far as skill development, IQ for the fall season.
Yeah, we've got our quarterback returning, big old boy, 6'3.5", 215, 220. Mason Welch has started for 2 years. This will be his senior year. He's got a Division I offer from Northwestern State right now. Um, he is he's everything you want in a quarterback. Big, strong arm, quick release, can really spin the football. But more importantly, he's a true leader, uh, a good Christian man. Works his tough, hardest worker, always accountable. Will hold his team accountable. Um, Offense is going to run through him, and we're excited to see him do it again. Quintavian White is our running back. good forward lean runner, runs downhill and good catching the ball out of the backfield. He's going to get 20-plus touches a game this year. And then our left tackle is Jamarn Kennedy. Group of 5 offers from Louisiana Tech, Tulane, ULL, that level of schools, 6'4", 307 pounds, tremendous athlete, runs like a deer, even though he's 300 pounds. Going to be anchoring that O line there for us. So, we've been lucky. We've put up a lot of points. I think we're averaging 37 points the last 5 years per game, and we've gotten better and more efficient in the last couple of years on offense. So we're expecting big things this year on offense.
Right. That's really great, especially when you see the process of your kids growing into the players. Well, the athlete doesn't happen if you don't do the pre, which is student, and so you love, most coaches love to see the process of their kids growing intellectually and IQ wise as athletes. The difference in what you learned about your team offensively. Again, you said earlier you guys lost to the eventual state champions Westgate in the quarterfinals. Westgate, I hope this isn't a copyright infringement. They have a philosophy that everybody needs to make plays, no matter from what position you guys are in. We need you to be able to make a play consistently and frequently. What'd you learn about your squad and playing a team like that? They were. I don't want to say Cinderella because Cinderella only shows up one time at midnight. They beat a very good Edna Carr team and then come back the following week and beat a very good Warren Easton team.
Yeah.
To secure the state championship for 4A. So they're as advertised. So what did watching, going back, I'm sure you guys have watched that quarterfinal game a couple of times, replaying what you could have done differently offensively to get the ball into scoring position, be it a field goal or a touchdown. What do you guys learn about yourselves in the process from the mid-November game to now?
Honestly, just turnovers. Everybody that's coached or been around football knows turnovers lose games. We had 5 turnovers in that game, 21 points off those turnovers. So we lose 32-34, and 3 of those were off of 21 points was off of turnovers.
Right.
We outgained them, had more yards on offense. The half we exploded. We were down 28-7. Had a couple turnovers, made the score look a little worse than what it was. And then we kept going back there in the third and fourth quarter. Turnovers again. 30 seconds left to go in the game. We fumble the ball and they return it for a touchdown. And it's hard to overcome 5 turnovers. So
right.
It's definitely a learning experience, and it left a bad taste in our mouth.
I'm sure it did, especially from an aspect, a point of view where it said that if it's a blowout, chances are the players didn't do their job, but 1 or 2 points means that the coaches probably should have tweaked one little thing to make, put kids in position to make a play. Defensively, what are you guys, not so much from a philosophy standpoint, I don't want you on here giving away all your defensive tricks and secrets, but what is the general thing that you guys look to do to show dominance on the field?
Yeah, like I said earlier, defense is so reactive. We actually try and take the mindset of we're going to force the offense to do things. We're going to force them to do what we want them to do. Uh, we're attacking defense. We're going to play very good base defense, third and long, and then attack you. Uh, so it's a um, you know we're an attacking defense.
Right. That's awesome, man. Let's talk a little bit about scheduling. Um, what goes into scheduling summer stuff, be it 7v7 or skill camps, if you guys participate in that, versus uh, what you guys do to schedule games non-district, to get prepared for district slash playoff. What's that like for you guys?
Yeah, during the summertime, we do 7-on-7 games and tournaments and travel there during the month of June. During July, we just lift. We do an overnight team camp here at the school, team bonding stuff. And then when you talk about scheduling for a football schedule, uh, we've stepped the tougher schedule the last couple of years playing 5A schools and really we want to know who we are before we get to there's nothing worse than getting to the playoffs, getting to a district championship game and not knowing exactly what type of team you have.
All right.
Not being punched in the mouth yet. So it's good to get punched in the mouth and find who you are, and then come playoff time, you already know what type of team you have and what you're good at and what you need to guard against. That's our philosophy on scheduling teams.
Has it been any team that's outside of your district that you said, hey, these guys have set the standard in 4A, be it Neville, Carr, Easton, uh, gotta add Westgate to that list now. Um, is there any schools outside of 4A or even in 4A that you say, hey, they're the standard bearers in order for us to get to the ultimate prize of being called state champions? These are the guys that we need to play. This is what we need to do henceforth in process of each individual guy being responsible to his duties in the process of the system. And I know that's a great value, but what is it for you guys as far as seeing who's the standard bearer?
I don't know if there's a certain standard bearer that we're looking at. Obviously, Andy Cars and Warren Easton are Neville are tier one. But as far as like scheduling and whatnot, we try and keep it local. We wanna play good 5A schools here in Shreveport. Both inevitably they're gonna be a little bit better and stronger and really really physical to play at the 5A level. Uh, I think that's the thing we focus on is becoming a more physical football team. At the end of the day, it's one human being versus the other, and the one that can the one that can move the other human being is going to win. Uh, I don't know if there's a certain program, but there's a certain standard that we try and skip, and that's physicality. Like I said, we want to be punched in the mouth. I would rather lose a game by a couple points than win by 70. Um, you know, you're getting them blowout games, and although it looks good for the newspaper, it's not good for your team. So, like I said, I'd rather play a good physical game and get punched in the mouth. We win. If not, we learn. Uh, that's very looking to.
I definitely agree with the fact that a 70-point win may look good in the paper, but as far as what you have to see in watching that, it may not always be pretty, especially for the team that's on the bottom side of that lopsided loss. You guys, again, man, have a good trajectory in getting to the semifinals, finals. What do you guys need to do, with the exception of staying injury free? We know that's the primary thing that needs to happen. Um, can you give us a little bit of what a couple of your non-district games look like versus um, games that have become in district rivalries that you guys are going to need to win to set the tone for a deep playoff run to the state championship?
Yeah, we scheduled our non-district. We scheduled Benton and Airline um, as our non-district 5A opponents. Good physical team that are very similar to us, but just bigger school. And then district is Huntington and North DeSoto. Of course, Evangel is they're not the old, but they're still a very very good football team. Very well run program. Uh, North DeSoto has become our district rival the last couple of years, but Huntington's on the way up, and we expect a tough matchup versus them as well.
No doubt, man. Huntington, I got to see them. I think maybe twice last year. I'm thinking, man, they had a lot of skilled guys that were very agile and athletic. Uh, just I think they are a couple of guys refining their skill set and the speed in which they play the game in becoming a powerhouse in 4A. Like like the name and reputation they built in basketball. But Huntington is definitely climbing their way up the food chain. Uh, Coach, any any kids that you want to tell us about real quick? Any other kids
Yeah,
other than
I talked about our left tackle and our quarterback. Defensive side, I've got a big defensive end, 6'4", 250. Tadarius Collins, been offered by a couple SEC schools. Uh, he's a freak show athlete. We'll probably be hearing his name in the NFL in 4 or 5 years. And then Marjavius Moss, he's our all-world kid. Had 5 interceptions in one game last year for the
wow?
championship. Uh, Scored the football 6 different ways: offense, defense, and special teams. Uh, he's about as skilled and knowledgeable of a football player I've ever coached. And like I said, that we've got 10 other guys that are just as good of athlete as him, but he produces on the field, and sometimes we lose sight in that and only look at the measurables and how fast they can run, how high they can jump, and forget that those are all great. Have to perform on the football field, and he actually does that. So uh,
Right,
he's very very impressive as a football player. Those
right.
4 guys have been offered Division I scholarships at the SEC Big 12 level. But we've got a handful of guys that are probably going to go to FCS or Division II. And those guys are really the backbone of the team. Wide receiver Mark Dennison, Ted Tavian White, Fabian Sanders. Uh, they're all going to be seniors, but they're really the backbone of the team. Just nobody knows their name yet.
Right. Well, hey, send me a little film on them so I can check them out, man. I really love to see them. Your thoughts on the LHSAA approving NIL payments for high school student athletes? How will that change the game going forward?
Yeah, I'm not a fan of it. I, it takes away. Football is the only sport that's played at the high school level that needs an actual high school. Um, Basketball has gone to AAU, soccer's gone to travel league, baseball's travel league. Um, every other sport doesn't really need a high school to run. Football is the only one that still needs high schools, and I think we've started that train rolling. That I don't know if in a decade there will be high school sports anymore. Um, I think we've jumped into the water and there ain't no getting out of it.
It, I've heard several coaches say that. That's tough to swallow, man, because high school athletics is the game at its purest, cleanest form. It's where kids still only play for the love of the game.
Yeah.
And if you take that away, now what about what happens to all the kids that aren't good enough to make an AAU team, an elite AAU team? Like right now, you got some guys in its place that's great because everybody can't go to college as a athlete anyway.
Yeah.
But you still have those guys that just love the camaraderie with saying, hey, I play football at Northwood or I play football at EA, even though they probably have only played 4 or 5 downs total in 2 or 3 years. But it's still the process of them being able to say, hey, I'm a high school student athlete. That, to my personal opinion, that's going to be really bad if that happens for the majority.
Yeah, I think high school football in particular is a beautiful thing. That this is what I tell my boy. That said, those people up in the stands, they watched you run around in diapers. Um, they took care of you when you were sick, and it's that community, especially here at Northwood and Blanchard. It's that small town community that it's special, and it's tough already because there's so much recruiting between high schools. And um, you know, if you drive into our neighborhood, you're going to see other high school signs, and they're less than a mile away from our school. Um, and they've decided for whatever reason, maybe it's for the betterment of their family, have chosen to go to other schools. And I think that's just going to be exasperated even more with the NIL deal. And it's a very slippery slope, and I'm not sure we can come back from it now that it's started.
Yeah, they definitely have opened a can of worms, as they say. And again, like you just iterated, um, I don't know if we will. I don't know if we will ever see high school sports in the same light again. I guess it's kind of like those that like having a select non-select system versus those that want both sides to come back together for one playoff system. It just depends on whether you like potatoes or potatoes.
Yeah.
Any final thoughts, Coach? Any final thoughts?
No, I appreciate you having me on and talking this morning. Uh, it's that is one great thing about Louisiana that is different from Oklahoma is how much support and love for high school athletics there is. Our news stations do a very good job We local guy 318 Sports that does a very good job of profiling young men. Obviously, you are doing a tremendous job, and like we were saying earlier, this is the best time in most of these kids' lives. Most of them are not going to play college football. This is where their high school years end, and to have this much exposure and being highlighted for their effort is special, and so I thank you for what you do and what these other guys do around the area.
No doubt, man. I salute everyone who gives their time, effort, and energy into helping youth athletics, helping um, create the memories, the lifelong memories that happen from their diligent works. So yeah, I agree with you 100%, man. Be it Josh Preston, Video Vault, or Jeremiah Gray, who does a phenomenal job with G Sports.
Mm-hmm.
Fast Break Entertainment, Preston Edwards out of the Shreveport area. Like, it's a lot of guys that Mr. Grissom Pickham's out of the Monroe area. Also, Patavis Black and Terrence Taylor out of the Shreveport area do a great job at being involved in youth athletics. And so, yeah, it's really great. In our jobs, what we try to do, whether we make a profit out of it or not, it's definitely made much easier when we have relationships with you guys that run the programs and allow us to be a part of your everyday lives. So if there's anything that we can ever do for you here, don't hesitate to give us a call, and it's our pleasure to be able to be a part of Northwood Falcons athletics.
Thank you, sir.
No doubt, no doubt. Up next, y'all, I'm still trying to figure out how to get this video to play. Software people never hit me back. So, hey, we'll be back. We want to thank Austin Brown, Northwood Falcons football, for joining us this morning. Great conversation with Coach Brown. We look forward to having a few of his players on real soon. Soon will be out. We'll be back trying to garner student athlete interviews to get them ready for their process of getting to their next level, where interviewing is mandatory for most. So I look forward to that. Like I was telling Coach Brown earlier, it's always real fun for me doing the interviews with the student athletes. So, hey, we'll be back. Prep News. Don't go nowhere. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome back. Off the bench sport prep news. Hey, we're gonna talk about real quick. We're gonna talk about a couple teams in 5A and 4A that have uh, been doing well. Teams that we hope to see increase their territory. Y'all like that? Me too. Yeah. Again, that's why they play the game, man. That's why they keep stats. That's why they keep score. That's why they keep records uh, as a way for um, to determine the credibility and whether kids are gonna be better, get better, all that good stuff. So hey, we right here, man. I want to I want to start with we all know that Zachary Zachary has been who Zachary is gonna be. It's no doubt about that. So looking to see if Zachary is gonna continue to be dominant force again. They keep we keep saying, oh, they keep losing a lot, but then the next year they're right back with and as evenly good team or better. So kudos to Zachary and all of their accomplishments. Um, Again, we talked about East Ascension the other week. Coach Darnell Lee, he's put together one of the strongest schedules um, in the state. Like really good schedule. They keep producing really good athletes that's going on to the D1 level. They just had three kids offered at Grambling from Grambling State University and head coach Hugh Jackson on yesterday. Let me see if I can. So Ja'Cory Mitchell, Joseph Hobby, and Brennan Thompson, all guys from East Ascension High School who received scholarship potential scholarship offers from Grambling State University. Again, as well, can't talk about 5A football without mentioning the Woodlawn Panthers out of Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Coach Marcus Randall has done a phenomenal job in turning that program around in his 3 or 4 years there as uh, head football coach. New offensive coordinator now going forward. So again, Ruston is another school that has always been amongst the top of the food chain in 5A. When will John Ehret turn the corner and be the dominant Ehret Patriots that we've grown to love over the years? Todd Garvin doing a great job at Ouachita in his first year last year. They were a quarterfinals team. Looking forward to seeing what that progress is gonna turn into from them. Acadiana, Matt, Coach Matt, geez, Coach Matt, he's been since coming over from baseball, I should say, because he was the head baseball coach at one point. I don't know if he's still toggling both of those duties, but he's there. And so, again, the process of being a Acadiana isn't an easy one. Uh, Captain Shreve, they finished the year as the number 2 team in 5A for football. Tough loss to Parkway 30-23. Um, Parkway goes on to lose to Acadiana. See how that trend works. Acadiana goes on to lose to Ponchatoula. And Zachary is your eventual 5A state champion. 4A look like this. You know, again, Westgate was your eventual champion. But what Edna Carp moves up to 5A, that makes room for somebody. That makes room for somebody to have a chance to be better. Um, could it be George Washington Carver? Could it be Woodlawn Shreve, Northwood Shreve? We just had Coach Austin Brown on from Northwood Shreve. They're a potential team that can take you a lot of places. We know Warren Easton and Coach Jerry Phillips. Cecilia, just 2 years ago, I think, were a quarterfinal team in football. You can never discount or discredit the Neville Tigers and Coach Tannehill. So, who does that leave us with? Huntington? Opelousas always has a gang of athletes in Lafayette. When will Opelousas can Opelousas under head coach Jimmy Zachary continue turning the corner? Great first year for Coach Zachary at Opelousas. Fan support starting to come back. We know when fan support comes back, things are going to be different. All right. So there you have it. 5A, 4A, Wampus Cats, Leesville. Plaquemine has a new coach in Dre Trosclair. So again, a lot of good teams, man. Because of Edna Carr moving up to 5A, have an opportunity to showcase their talents. It's just a matter of will they take advantage of those opportunities. We'll see. Coming up, another Northwood. It must be Northwood Falcon week on Off the Bench Sports Prep News, man. Coming up next, we got another surprise guest for you from the Northwood Falcon Blanchard community. Why not get it? Why not? Why not? Why not? They're the North. So we'll be back. We're back. We're back. Off the Bench Sports Prep News, bringing you the best in high school sports, commentary, highlights, interviews for players and coaches. Joining us now, guy that I've met through another coach. I had heard his name before. Heard a lot of good things about him. Big giant teddy bear, man, but dead serious about everything that he does and brings to the table. Prep News family, please help me in welcoming and wishing him a super warm welcome. Guy that I'm really glad to call friend now. Please welcome Northwood Falcons boys basketball coach Marvin Davis. What's up, my guy?
What's going on? How you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good.
Yeah.
Hey, you didn't hear that intro, did you?
Yeah, I did. I heard the intro. I heard you call me the big teddy bear.
I was supposed to tell you to mute. I was supposed to tell you to not listen to that part when I call you a big teddy bear, man. Like you got so much love for these kids, man.
Yeah.
Sometimes our tough exterior doesn't depict the quality of our big ass heart.
Exactly.
I ain't mean to say that, y'all. But we got big, we big dudes. We got big hearts, man.
Yeah, that's it.
Big dudes, bigger hearts. So, hey, what's up, man?
Man, I'm doing good. What about yourself? How's everything?
Hey, man, you see this smile?
That's it.
Smile? That means things are good right now. That's all I care about is in the moment, things being great.
Mm-hmm.
Man, hey, I got a confession to make, man. I'm a little sad, man. We gotta do something about this, man. Cause Marvin Davis beat Eddie Hamilton on Prep News. Eddie's never been on Prep News, man.
No.
Yeah, Eddie's never been on Prep News yet, man.
You already know I got to hear about that in a few minutes. Yeah, he's actually watching one of my classes. So I can do this. So
okay.
I'm not return the favor. I'm returning the favor.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Eddie has yet to come on Prep News, and it's only because I haven't called him yet. We talk every day, but
exactly.
I haven't talked to him about it yet, man. He's doing something else that's uber important for me right now. And it's on a weekly basis, so I just haven't been trying to bother him with this because I troubled his waters for like 6 months, begging him to do for me what he's doing for me right now, and so
he must have shot a text.
Yeah. Hey, little bro, I love you. This right here. It's all love, man. I gotta get my guy on this show, man.
Yeah.
Hey, so first time, Marvin. It's okay if I call you Marvin.
Yeah, that's fine.
We family, man. We family. First time on Prep News, man. Come on, give us a little bio, man. Give us a little bio on who Coach Davis is and how he got to this point in life.
I'm blessed that my father coached for over 30 years and coached in Louisiana, coached in Mississippi. And so I take my coaching experience a lot from him. That's one of the things I used to say about him. He was 6'6", about 260, so they called him the giant teddy bear just because his demeanor. So when you actually said that about me, I you don't even know a lot about my dad, but that just from seeing me around. And you got that hard exterior, but at the same time, they know you got a heart for the kids. So I take all of my coaching experience. He nurtured me from growing up, being on the sidelines, on the track field with him. He coached football, girls basketball, and track. And so I learned a lot through him. So that took me to where I am now. Graduate of Quitman High School from 1996. Went to Louisiana Tech, started coaching basketball 2005 at Lakeside High School. Started out coaching girls. I coached there for 7 years. A couple of district runner-up, went to the quarterfinals. Lost to John Curtis 1 year in the quarters, and then we turned around, lost to U-High a few years later. St. Thomas Aquinas. Those teams are perennial powerhouses in 2A back during that time. Then I went to Mansfield, and I coached under Coach Kendra Neal for about 3 seasons before I took over the boys' head coaching job at Mansfield. Fortunate with her, we went to the quarterfinals, lost to John Curtis. Went to the quarterfinals the next year, lost to U High, and then the following year, lost to U High again, and then we lost to U High in the state championship game. So I've been blessed to be around some great coaches, and then now I was head coach at Mansfield, won a district title there for the boys, and then transitioned with Coach Hamilton over here to Airline. Had a good 2 years here, and the opportunity for me to coach at Northwood was great. Principal Shannon Wall, we talked, and I didn't make anything until after we made our run with Airline. That was our main concern. I just wasn't for sure exactly what I wanted to do, but after praying about it, it just, the Lord just kind of moved me that way, and so I kind of followed that lead. And so here I am at Northwood. We just, getting it started now.
Right, man. How much have you taken in from Coach Eddie after being 2 years under his leadership? No nonsense guy, but definitely a man that knows the game of basketball, understands how to get kids to move the way they're supposed to be moving. If that makes sense.
Yeah. We have a lot of the same ideology as far as defense. And so when we got together, that was one of the biggest things that we molded and shaped together. He came with some different concepts, and I took on those concepts and I learned it so that whenever we coach together, we use the same terminology, we had the same mindset. And so it was almost like a perfect storm, so to speak, whenever it came to just putting things together. So a lot of the things that I learned from him was basically gaining the understanding of the kids and putting them in the best position to be successful. And some of the concepts that we ran was totally different than anything that some schools have seen. I'm not going to give away any of his details because the next year.
You playing. He's watching right now.
Oh yeah, I know.
Yeah. He's watching right now.
I'm not gonna give away his strategy, but we did a lot of things and that he brought in that was not common, and because those ideas were not common, it caused some wrinkles in other teams' scout report on what they expected to do with us. So being unpredictable is one of a good thing that I learned from him, and we just put that together and we just worked both offensively, defensively, the whole nine.
He's definitely gained a great reputation as being a program rebuilder, a fire starter, and a mentality changer. Again, when I look at the relationships he's built with kids like Travian Black, what he helped Daniel Ortiz become. All that stuff. Like people don't understand when a kid blows his knee and comes back as I think Cameron Walker.
Yes.
Did at Airline this past year, and then comes back and Eddie doesn't treat him any differently. He still allows him to be Cameron, and because of that, Cameron was one of the best guys to put on the Airline uniform this year. So again, the process of that, what are you going to be able to take from what you've learned over the last 2 years from Coach Hamilton and process it into how you manifest and coach players going forward at Northwood?
Taking that ability to take any situation and put it into the kid's mind that this is not the end and that you have an opportunity to come back and to build yourself. So if with Cam messing up his leg, it was constant encouragement. He was always around the coaches, around the team. He never was one to just sit out. He went to his rehab. Sometimes he overworked rehab. And those are some of the things that I saw Coach Hamilton always speaking to him, sending little clips and things like that. Hey, this is what you need to do. And he also did that with a lot of the other players that was coming along. And sometimes, even though it may not be an injury, it's just making the transition from a different coach. How are you going to reach the kids? How are you going to reach those juniors and seniors and get them to buy into your system? And we saw that over the 2 years where, they bought in to the things that Coach Hamilton wanted to teach them, to impart in them. And most importantly, we really focusing on, and I was like this even at Mansfield, is helping them to become better men. This is not just about basketball, it's about life. So a lot of the things that I saw him instill in his players from Airline, you saw it begin to mature. You don't see it the first year. We didn't see a lot as we wanted to in year one here, but we saw a lot in year two in the growth. And a lot of times coaches got to understand it's over a period of time of growth mentally that prepares them for the future. And so a lot of the things, we may have seen it in Cam and a few of our seniors, but only time will tell how much that we was able to instill into those guys in year 3, 4, and 5 of their life outside of high school. And so those are some of the things we want to, as he said, you want to be builders of men, not just building players and athletes. So those are some things that I definitely can take over there into a concept over there at Northwood.
And he's definitely also, I hope that you get this one as well. Because I know I never met your dad, never saw him a day in my life, but I guarantee that he was high on academics, just as Coach Hamilton is. Hey, it warms my heart when I see coaches that have a great, not just, okay, we want you to do well in the classroom, but it's a situation where, no, I need you to be the best version of Cameron Walker or XYZ or XYZ or XYZ that you can be. How much do, going into your new situation, and this is me personally, I think it's super important that young freshmen that are coming from 8th grade going to 9th grade, 9th grade to 10th grade, a lot of those kids do not understand the importance of being strong fundamentally, academically. How do you handle those kids to get them to see that, hey, the better you do right now is the better your opportunities are going to be for future opportunities at academic and athletic scholarships?
When I was, I'm going to go back a few years. When I was at Lakeside, I never had a problem. All of my girls was 3.2 to 3.5. I only had maybe one that I had to deal with. And then going into Mansfield, the requirement was 2.8 or higher in order to be able to play. And so if their grades slipped during the athletic period, they were required to go and get their books. And they couldn't come back until they got their academics to a particular level. I will share this one story. I'm not going to share the whole details, but I had a couple of guys that come in and they all were underperforming. And we was playing North Caddo back when they had Robert Williams and Kadavian Evans. So I needed everybody. But I had 3 of them that I didn't let play. So I had a couple of parents that came in there, because it was a packed house. They got all upset. Said, ma'am, I showed them their progress report. I said, I can let them play or I can hold them accountable to their grades. And so towards the end of that semester, they all got their grades up because I didn't want anybody to be in jeopardy not to play the second semester. And I'm a U.S. history teacher. I taught U.S. history for 7 years, and that being an EOC class and a head basketball coach, I had to make sure that they was on top of their academics. Because I look at it like this. A lot of student athletes want to do well, or they start to do well their junior and senior year. Most of the time, they're taking electives. They've already taken all their core classes. Then you go back and look at their core GPA from freshman to sophomore year. We're like, how in the world did you make it? So we got to go back, and this is coaches as a whole, and instill into that group as freshmen and sophomores that colleges are looking at your core GPA. You can tell me you got a 3.8 and you got all electives, nothing against electives, but your core GPA is what counts. And so that's something that I talk with the parents in parent meetings is about that particular aspect. I can get you recruited with a 2.8 and 3.0 with a 19 on the ACT. That's a lot easier. But it's hard to get you recruited if you have a 1.8 and you have a 15 or a 13 on the ACT. Then they're going to come back to you and or come back to you later, but they're going to go after that guy or girl that is already qualified. So the importance right now is when those incoming freshmen and the sophomores is, are they taking the ACT? Are they taking their core classes seriously? And so when you start to put that in there, along with you got to have a standard GPA of your expectations in order to be able to play, coming into that, that's going to help them get their mind right. And so in talking with parents, I want them to understand that aspect, that if your child has the ability not to just play college ball, but if they have the ability to if they have a desire to want to go to college, want to go to a VOTEC, want to go to a trade school, they have to start applying those study habits as freshmen and sophomores and not wait until they're juniors and seniors whenever they may be taking classes that are not core classes.
Right. I agree 100%, man. The process of gaining academic wealth.
Mm-hmm.
And you see it with kids that are just academic kids, and they have 30 and 40 academic scholarship offers totaling 500,000 or 750,000. Like you write your own ticket as per where you want to go and what you want to major in, and the ease of the transition in going into college. And so if you take the academic and then you add the athletic scholarship from a student athlete point of view, then you got something there. Now it's not, mom, dad, I need $20 to get something to eat for one meal, or man, I sure would like some gas, or hey, mom, can I get something so I don't have to wear all college clothes? I like to wear some regular clothes, mama. You got some money for that? No, now if you got an academic scholarship, you got an athletic scholarship, now you can pay for your own clothes and use the money your parents spend you for other things, like the great appetite that comes with being a college student athlete.
Exactly.
I like for us to talk a little bit about which came first, the chicken or the egg. What the hell is he talking about? I'm talking about your principles that you've grown over the years. I know for me, as a basketball coach versus me as a football coach, I was a Dean Smith guy. A lot of the stuff I learned growing up was because I was able to watch Dean Smith, North Carolina, every week as a young kid. But then I really got into playing basketball, and played for Herschel West at Richwood, and he was a guy that didn't mess around. Louisiana legend in Northeast Louisiana. Played at Grambling, played in the NBA. And so when you come under the tutelage of guys like that, but then you go on and you get some days under your belt, whose wisdom do you go to first? Do you go to your dad's wisdom? Do you go to your first head coach's wisdom? Do you go look in the mirror and say, man, I know what to do in this situation? I've been through it myself 2 or 3 times. Or is it someone that you've watched as you progressively grown as a assistant and head coach? Because it got to be a learning value or a learning curve in both of those systems. You can't be a good head coach if you're not a good assistant coach. You can't be a good head coach if you're not a good listener. So which happened first? Did the chicken happen first or the egg?
Before my father passed in 2018, he was the main guy that I talked to. And he always taught me to be a student of the game. Even in year 20, year 25, I would see him go to coaching clinics and garner information, talk to different coaches and things of that nature. So I attribute everything of my knowledge and my study of the game was watching him. I remember sitting in front of the TV, and he had, back in the day, he had the VCRs, and he was constantly rewinding film for football because he coached the offensive line, defensive line. He also did the special teams. So after I would do my work, I would sit up there and watch him. And so he this is a phrase that a lot I try to tell my athletes: don't watch the game as a fan, watch the game as a coach. And so I learned that growing up to watch the game as a coach. And so I was a Fab Five guy, and I wasn't a guy that had like insane vertical hops. So I mimicked my game after Juwan Howard, Tim Duncan. I used to like Chris Webber. Was my favorite player Michael Jordan? Yes. Could I do everything Michael Jordan did? No. But I learned to watch their moves, and I started to study, not realizing I was looking at the game as a coach and not as a fan. So a lot of my tutelage came from him. And when I started out coaching basketball, I worked at Louisiana Tech. That's when I worked, but that's where I went to school. And so Coach Leon Barmore wouldn't allow nobody in the gym. But because I used to work, that was my student job, and I would come in there with a pen and paper, and I would sit there and watch his practices. So for 3 years while he was there, I watched nothing but Leon Barmore and Coach Kim Moakley practice. Coach Moakley used to run around the concourse while I would be mopping it, and I thought she didn't know who I was. And so I worked the Baylor camp with Coach Kendra Neal, and I said, "Hey, Coach Moakley, I don't know if you remember me." She said, "Yeah, I remember you. You used to run always mopping around the concourse, and I used to run." And then she remembered that I would be sitting in there in the stands. But for 4 years, I was in their practices, just sitting in the stands watching. I saw Gino Auriemma come through there with his UConn girls. I saw Pat Summitt come in there every other year. I even saw the USA Olympic team come in there, so I had an opportunity to watch them practice. And so I was always a student of the game, writing stuff down, writing down different notes. And when I was at Lakeside, I ran the triangle offense with Tex Winters. A lot of people think I'm crazy because I ran that, and I talk with Eddie about that. We talk about that all the time, but that's the offense I ran with a group of girls. We went 22-10, 22-13 one particular year. The next year we went 19-10, and instead I never had a post player, so I used to post my guards up. And so we would run different things. But I had a coach, an older coach. He gave me an old book, and that old book was the Triangle Offense by Tex Winters. And he told me that if you study this book, there's not an offense that comes out that you won't know. And to this day, I can say that there's not an offense that comes out, whether it's dribble drive, drive in space, a lot of the new stuff, the 21 series with D'Antoni, all of that stuff. The principles are the same out of the triangle offense. And so with studying that book and studying different teams that run it, Gino Auriemma, Tara Vanderveer, Courtney Brooks that coached Dwight Howard and Javaris Crittenton. I bought and Tex Winters. I got their DVDs, I got their books, and I just started to study. And so as new things come out, I started studying that. So when I say being a student of the game, I don't want another team to run something I had never seen or my kids can't be prepared for. So sometimes I feel like I may over-prepare or I put too much knowledge in, but I don't want to be one of those coaches where I can say I don't have a clue what they running. I'm going to know what they running, and I'm going to know how to stop their running. And so I attribute that knowledge coming from my father because seeing him throughout the years, I've talked with Coach Hamilton. A few times I've talked with Coach Casey Jones out of Wasserman. When I was at Lakeside, it was Jason Gould and Dan Grantham. We talked, and then when I got to Mansfield, me and Coach Kendra, we talked a lot. She shared a lot, and she just working with her, and she dropped a lot of just different concepts. And she was under that Leon Barmore, Coach Kim Moakley tutelage as well. So I've been blessed to have been around a lot of good coaches, just coming through, just different coaches that I've coached against. And I can't call her name. She'll probably kill me for that. The coach at U High, the girls coach at U High. I can't call her name. Benita Johnson. Oh, and she's looking. She's going to kill me. When we played her in the second round, I want to say it was 2010. Everybody thought that they were just going to blow us out because we was real small. And they ended up beating us, I want to say, by 9 or 13 points. And the crowd was like, we can't believe you're not blowing them out. And she was like, I told y'all this was a good team. And we actually connected from that point. And for about 5 or 6 years while I was coaching girls basketball, we communicated. There's a funny story right here. We was playing them in the playoffs. It was during the quarterfinals. One of the years she beat us. And she said, I'm sitting up here watching y'all's game film right now. I'm like, you ain't watching our game film. She said, yeah, all y'all have on a white dress shirt. You got on black slacks, and black shoes. So in my mind, I was like, whoa, that's one of our district games. And we just laughed and talking about it, but she was letting me know that, hey, we're watching you. And, this is whenever I was at Mansfield with Coach Kendra. So I've been blessed to be around a lot of good coaches. My assistant coaches that I had at Mansfield, Tony Cutright. I don't know if you know him. He was a legend as a Wally. Played at USL and had opportunity to play overseas and in the NBA. Learned a lot from him. We still communicate to this day about just different things. Patrick Lewis. I mean, I've been fortunate. A lot of coaches can't say they've been fortunate to have a good coaching family. Coach Jimmy Hogan, he worked with my freshmen when I was at Mansfield. Marvin Cooper, Patrick Lewis. So I've been blessed to be around a good group of coaches and what I've had. So I don't know if it's to answer your question, the egg before the chicken before the egg, but I've been blessed. I'm gonna say it like that. I hope I cover both sides. I've been blessed.
No, you definitely got the chicken. You definitely got the chicken, and you definitely cracked the egg. I knew you could handle it. That's why I gave it to you.
Yeah.
So I keep laughing, man, because the friendships and relationships that are being forged through what we're trying to do here is just nonstop, man. And it's for me, it's just an honor to be able to be here and do what I'm trying to do, and talk to guys like you and just be able to see life and see basketball through your spectrum. The game happens. Sometimes the game happens really fast.
Mm-hmm.
What have some of your words been that through that process that you've used to help relax and calm your student athletes down, and talk a little bit about the difference of coaching boys versus coaching girls, since you've been on both sides of the spectrum?
Okay, I'm gonna start with the coaching boys versus coaching girls. Coaching girls, I think, prepared me for the coach that I am, because you have to really be detailed. You have to pay attention to details. You have to go A, B, C through some things. Not all players, but a lot of them. They want structure. You have to, okay, we're going to go here, we're going to go there, we're going to go there. And so that prepared to be very detailed, both offensively and defensively. But I've noticed that once it clicks in their mind, it clicks and they have it, and then they're running and they're going with it. A lot of times your girls teams may not have a lot of athleticism. So you have to really be creative with your offensive sets or be creative with your defensive sets. Whereas on boys, you may have some athletes that can get up and down the floor, and they may be XYZ/QT and all of those different things and moving the ball, and they rely more on their athleticism than details. And so one of the things that I've coached with boys is like, look, we want to be just as detailed as we are athletic. And so I've had this say, you don't let your boys shoot enough, you don't let them shoot enough, you don't this, and this. I said it's not always about that. It's about us being structured and organized, and those shots will come. One particular game, we scored 72 points, and we hit all 72 off layups and free throws. I think we might have made
Wow.
a 3-pointer in that game. But, most now this is the era of shoot the three, shoot the three, shoot the three. Well, if I recognize a team is pushing us off the 3-point line and we need to attack, we need to attack. But that's something that we work on in practice. Whereas that's, non-conventional in today's game. So the first thing with dealing with the players, number one, is trust me and trust what I'm giving you.
Right.
If you
right.
trust what I'm telling you, you trust my scouting reports, I'm not going to do you wrong. If I realize that they like to gamble, then we're going to attack them at the rack. If they're going to sag off, yeah, we'll have to shoot the jumper. Or we'll run some different isolation plays to get some guys open to get off the shot. So the first thing they have to do is trust it. But I've noticed with girls, they trust a little more easier than guys. It's almost like you have to prove it to them. Like, give me a basketball. Let me get out there and show you I can do it. And so that's the mentality that I've seen. One of the things I say to my players is, the more you learn the game will slow down.
Right.
The game won't be as fast. If you work on your craft, if you put in the hours and you put in the time to get better, when the game slows down, it actually plays itself. Another thing that I would tell them is that what you do not only affects you, but it affects the team. So if you do something crazy off the floor, that's going to affect your team. If you do something crazy on the floor, it's going to affect your team. So those are just a few of the things that I talk to them about. Another one, which a lot of coaches talk about, is, share the basketball, be a team player, come in ready to practice. I'll give you one thing I say. This is one thing I tell them. I say, look, you might have to break up with your girlfriend when it comes to district because I need you. Look,
you're a troublemaker.
Use
a troublemaker, dog. Use a troublemaker.
They're trying to give me this look like, really? I used to say that to my girls' team off of the movie House Party, Kid and Play. Keep your mind on your books and off your phone. So I used to say, I used to try to use stuff that I know that they would see and that they would understand, and they would laugh at it, but it was like, well, coach, that does make sense. Doing a playoff run, hey, guys, just chill out. I know the stuff you may do extracurricular. Give us 2 weeks. Let us make this run. Don't put nothing in you that is going to cause you not to be able to play. Stay away from those because I look at it like this. When you're being successful, if you're around people that may be non-successful or not having a good moment, all it takes is one word. It takes one fight, and you suspended from the playoff game. So let's not put ourselves in that situation, guys.
Don't let them pull you away from the goal. Exactly.
So those are some of the little words of wisdom I try to give a lot of my players, both girls and guys. But I can tell you this, coaching girls prepared me to coach boys, with the attention to detail. And if you can get guys to be that detailed in every aspect, that separates the great teams from the good. Or the average. That takes the average teams and makes them great. Because I've had some teams that we were just average athletes, but we got after it because we paid attention to detail, and we beat some teams that we shouldn't have beat. And so all those things plays a lot of into coaching, if you would really be detailed.
No, I agree with that. You're taking over. If you know Patrick Lindsay, you know that he is a guy that is in the process of that. He dedicated his life to youth athletics, amateur athletics, high school athletics, and bringing guys up under him. I want to use the word abruptly, but I don't know if that is the best word to use. I say abrupt because I was looking forward to seeing his journey on the boys' side because of the success that he'd had on the girls' side that I had watched the last few years. And, it was to me abrupt that one day he makes the announcement that I'm possibly done. And then I think it was about a week and a half later, he said, "Yeah, I'm done. I'm going into administration. It's been fun, but I gotta go." The discretion of fulfilling the schedule for this summer, this season, how much say so have you had in that?
Well, actually, a lot. I kept as many of the games, the return games, as possible. I reached out to all the coaches that was on the schedule to make sure that we wanted to, we continued the game. I wanted to honor if we needed to come to them or if they needed to come to us. So actually, the scheduling part was relatively easy. District games was already set. We're going to continue to do the tournament. We're going to continue to do boys and girls, which is December the 1st through the 3rd. We're looking for some more boys teams that may want to participate in that. Yes, sir.
Stay right there. Talk a little bit about the tournament and what you guys, what you and Coach Lewis are looking to do jointly, cohesively, as a unit in building up the Northwood Falcons, Lady Falcons tournament.
For what I've gathered, traditionally that tournament has primarily been a boys tournament. And so last year, I believe Coach Lindsay instituted putting in the girls' side of that tournament. I believe right now, I don't have it in front of me. We think we have either 7 or 8 girls teams. I have to go back and check. And we have 5 boys teams. So we're looking for some more boys teams. But the thing I like about it is doing it together.
Say that again.
Which part?
Y'all looking for more boys? Hey, y'all
looking for more boys.
Go support the Northwood Falcons, Lady Falcons Invitational.
Yes. December 1st.
If y'all support them, yours truly will be there.
Exactly.
So don't be afraid to show up and show out coaches. And y'all know we've done this already before. We did it with Northwood. We did it with Southside. We've done it at Northside. We're still in the process of trying to help make Sam Houston tournament has grown. I like to think that we're playing a part in that. We did it at Hamilton Christian, and I'm not trying to take any credit for the fan support or the teams that want to come in and compete, but we've been a part of those journeys in those tournaments, reaching a maximum efficiency, and so again, we definitely want to be a part of that process with you guys. I'm not gonna even mention the other school name because I don't want no problems. And again, I talk to that dude every day. Every day we talk in some form. So he's still on here. He's still on here watching, man. I love you, little bro. Let's talk about rivalries. Let's talk about rivalries and what you know about Northwood versus North DeSoto, Northwood versus Woodlawn Shreve, Northwood versus Evangel, Northwood versus Booker T, and all that jazz. What are you looking forward to competition-wise from a coaching standpoint that gonna make you say, "Hey guys, let's be on our ish. Let's go. Let's go. No horse playing today." What's the competition level like for you that you want to instill in your student athletes and your assistant coaches?
I want to instill that regardless of who we play, we're coming out there to beat you. we want to have that attitude, or some people that want to have that swag or that mantra about ourselves. I know it seems to be the biggest rivalry is Northwood and North Dakota. And, and I saw that firsthand from the baseball games that they've had recently in the playoffs and in district. And I've also had, I saw the football games. It just so happened I was driving by one particular year, Northwood was there, and I stopped in, and I could feel the tension between the two. So I know that the basketball games will be packed for that one right there. I know that's going to be a rivalry. Booker T, Woodlawn, Huntington, and now Bossier.
Yeah.
I have, when Coach Sykes was at Woodlawn, we played them a few times. I've never had the opportunity to coach against Coach Mack. I did the year of COVID when I was coaching with Coach Hamilton. We played against Huntington. I played Minden, coached against Minden. That's my bell. Booker T. Actually, Coach Bush was there a year we went against Booker T. And then I coached against Booker T when I was at Mansfield. And we had a brawl after that game.
Wow.
It wasn't a brawl with the players. It was a brawl with the fans. The fans got into it. So, but it was a lot. It was fun. Those are high, intense atmospheres. And I want these players to understand that when we go play those games, that it's going to be high, it's going to be intense, and we want to come out and put on our best game. Regardless of what the outcome is, I want everybody in that gym to know Northwood Falcons are coming to play. And that's the attitude that I have, regardless of who we play. So
hey, I gotta be a little petty right now. So myself and BTW's head coach Kenny Sykes, another guy that I like. It's just been phenomenal, the love that the Shreveport area, as in schools, coaches, players, and fans have shown to Off the Bench Sports, Prep News, or even when we were doing the show. It's just been phenomenal, the love that you guys have shown to us. It's you guys are in the Lion's Den. Kenny Sykes is the ultimate philosopher, the ultimate manipulator. What is give us something real quick on what the pregame speech is like to your kids and your facing.
You're not gonna like my pregame speeches because
I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that.
In there. Honestly, I know sometimes we have that whole thing, but a lot of times my pregame speeches come directly from the game. I mean, before the game, like 5 minutes, because I'm so zoned out. I don't say much to nobody. You'll see me. You'll be like, okay, what's Coach Davis over there thinking? So in my mind, I'm thinking, what am I going to do to get these boys coming up to get ready to play? And to be honest with you, a lot of times I just don't have that one speech that I give to everybody. I just don't have that. It's just something that happens that I see either in scouting the game or something that I have that I see before the game, and it just ignites a fire. And then I come in there and I go off, and there's like, okay, coach, we got you. You feel that passion. I may take a particular set that they run all the time and say, they may run this set because they don't think we can stop it. Or you going to let this guy do this, or you going to let this guy do that. So I don't have that. I wish I had it, but I don't have that big speech that I give before a big game, because my speech is going to come in practice and preparing for that team. I'm letting them know what my expectations are within those practices. So when that game time comes, I don't have to say nothing. They already know what it is I'm about.
Hey, I'm going to say this, and you take this exactly how I say it. I'm not accepting that. I do not accept that. I do not accept that.
I wish I had one. You going to make me
I don't
think
accept
of
that. I don't accept that. Oh. Y'all, I'm going to divulge a little secret. I'm going to divulge a little secret that I probably shouldn't. But hell, I ain't never heard nothing from y'all before. And so I'm not finna. Oh, I missed this, man. This might be your kid, Cameron Walker, huh?
Yeah.
Huh. I'm gonna put that on the screen before we get finished. But that was the football comment. Might be your kid. So hey, look. So sometimes when I'm doing the show live, I get all kind of text messages and good jobs and how you doing and great guest today, and I get all kind of nice little treats. And I just got a nice little treat in the form of a text message from someone that's viewing the show this morning. And they said Marvin Davis made an appearance on Prep News. And these are their words. Hot damn. That means they're excited. They're excited to see my guy. Man. So hey, I just wanted to share with you. You got fans, man. You got fans.
That's good. I appreciate it. Whoever that was, I appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm sure they don't want their name to be put out there. They're really, really private guys.
Yeah.
So just know you. I just wanted to let you know you got fans, man.
That's good.
What have you been able to learn? I know you're still at Airline in the process of having only an hour and 15 minutes with them every day via transport from Airline to Northwood, crosstown, 25 minute drive. What have you learned about your kids so far?
I've learned that. Well, let me say this: from the varsity standpoint, I believe we lost 5 or 6 seniors. We're returning 3, maybe 4 guys that actually played, got some playing time. So they have been hungry to learn. Everything that I've put out there, they're trying to pick up and trying to do it to the best of their ability. And so each coach has something different. And one of my things is let's get it done now. So let's speed up the pace. Let's work. We're going to try to get everything that we can get in that 55-minute time period. So right now, I don't have any complaints because they're trying to learn, and they're not. I want to say they're starting to buy in. And so to get that buy-in before we actually hit the summer is what any coach wants. I'm not having to weed nothing out per se or anything like that. So the guys are really putting forth that effort. And one of the main things we have to do, we have to get stronger. So we're getting into the weight room. We haven't started the conditioning portion yet because it's a lot of things I want to teach them from my perspective, what I want to see on the court. And so stuff we're doing offensively, learning to take better shots, certain things that I'm expecting of them. But for us to be successful the way I want is we have to embrace the weight room. And there are some that, they're getting to that point to where they're willing to embrace the weight room. So those are the things that I've had in the limited time that I've been able to coach them is that aspect right there.
Right, man, awesome. Say it with me, Coach. Awesome sauce. Awesome sauce.
I don't
got time to be playing with you, man. I got time to be playing with you. December 1st through the 3rd, Northwood Falcons, Lady Falcons Invitational.
Mm-hmm.
First summer activities are happening when?
May 31st, I believe, we'll come to the Airline Summer League. Then throughout the month of June, we'll be at Captain Shreve, and then we're doing something locally with Green Oaks and some other teams within that area, Woodlawn, some other teams within that area. So we got a lot going on. I told the guys, it's like, hey, I need you to really dedicate the month of June and then the month of July to getting ready to put in that work. So we're going to be working hard this summer.
Man, one day I'm going to be able to proudly announce that Off the Bench Sports and Prep News is putting together its first invitational, its first annual prep showcase via football and basketball. I'm gonna be honored the day that I can honestly give you guys that news. So, hey, I need you to start the prayer chain. I know you're a man that's very big on faith. Eddie, I know you're watching. Start the prayer chain to where I'll take a 6-day tournament for basketball. Crown a eventual platinum and silver champions for big schools and small schools. That way we can stay in line with the competitive levels.
Yeah.
And if you show to be too good for the silver bracket, then you automatically within that tournament you get swapped with a team that may start in the platinum, but comes down to the silver. Y'all work with me on that, coaches. I need y'all. Can't do it without you.
Oh yeah, we'll definitely support it. As soon as you
Hey,
got you.
Oh, excuse me. God bless in the name of Jesus. Man, my guy, Coach Marvin Davis, he's built a wealth of knowledge and a ton of respect among his peers, and he's become beloved. Tell us real quick where Quitman High School is.
Quitman High School is on Highway 167 South, in between Jonesboro and Ruston. That's my home.
Oh, okay. Cool. Cool. I didn't, I had heard equipment a lot over the years. Just didn't know where it was. Again, eventually it's gonna be one day I can also say that I've been to every high school in the state of Louisiana and in all of the southern regions. That's my goal, especially for the state of Louisiana. Again, like I always say, if I haven't been to your school yet, just hold on. I'm coming.
It's coming. Yeah.
I'm coming, and I'm gonna be glad to be there. Again, man, I can't say enough about the joy I feel inside for you getting an opportunity to do the gift that God gave you in coaching. Again, you've done a great job. You've been a champion in what you've done for these kids. Hey, final thoughts. Give me something good. Give me something good. Give me something good.
I'm going to go ahead, since somebody is watching. I want to say it's November the 29th. At Northwood. If you're anywhere in the area, I challenge you to come to that game since you want to put some bulletin board material out there, since I know he's watching. But also to my Falcon family, I appreciate the opportunity. And from this point on, we're trying to build on what has already been established. We're coming ready to work.
Hey, shout out Northwood High School, Principal Wall. They are the North. That's how they rock. Hey, I gotta tell you though, man, like it's not very many schools that expect to win in every program they have. Northwood, I'm seeing, is one of those schools. They're the Madison Preps, they're the Scotlandvilles, they're the Wiseman, the Washitaws, the Cars, the Westgates. It doesn't matter what the activity is. I guess if you had a tennis ball rolling sport, you guys would want to not only compete but do well in that. And so, man, that's just really good to see when everybody from the head guy to the janitor is committed to building success. Again, you can't learn how to win until you start winning. So why not win right now?
Exactly.
Want to thank Austin Brown, Northwood Falcons football, Marvin Davis, Northwood Falcons boys basketball. Yesterday we had head coach Rudy Lewis on, Northwood Falcons ladies basketball. I wonder what's coming next from Northwood.
We got a lot of things coming.
Hey, Northwood Lena, they outdoing y'all, Northwood Lena. I'm ready, y'all. Welcome.
I'm working on something we talked about yesterday.
Okay.
I shared it. They liked it, so I'm gonna get you on that one coming up.
Man, you all right with me, bro. Eddie, hey, bro, you see him, huh? Hey, hey, do your dance, coach. Hey, thank you guys for joining Off the Bench Sports. What is it? Prep News. Y'all know I be doing too many shows, y'all. Sometimes they get blurred. I be a little blurred, or maybe. So I made a mistake this morning, Coach. I got my personal assistant to fix me some coffee. I generally fix it right before the show starts, but I was in La La Land, and so, man, she done made me this Dunkin' Donut coffee that leave this strange taste in your mouth, man. Ain't nothing like Community's breakfast blend. Shout out, hey, Community. If y'all send me some free coffee, I'm gonna put it in this cup right here. See this big soup cup that I drink coffee out of? I'm getting another bad text message, y'all now. My personal assistant telling me, she's saying, I ain't your personal assistant. I just happen to fix you some coffee. I bet you that's what it's saying. This thing beeping. Oh yeah, I knew it. Yeah, that wasn't a good text, y'all. I was just playing. She said if I tell anybody else I'm her personal assistant, she my personal assistant, I'm gonna have to pay like I weigh. And I'm 270 pounds, y'all. I ain't got it like that. Nah, thank you guys though, man. I really appreciate it. I wish you much success in your new endeavor. As head coach at Northwood, man. I laugh a lot because the laughter is, my sister always tells me laughter is good like medicine. You should take a lot of it, ingest a lot of it into your system. And she hasn't been wrong about much in life. She's never steered me in the wrong direction. So when she says laughter is good like medicine, I open my bread basket and take the ball and run with it. So, and that's what I try to do. And laughter is better than the opposite, which is tears. So, again, man, I'm just grateful and honored. I say it a lot because I really mean it, and I don't care if nobody else understands why I love this so much, but it's a real reason why I love high school athletics as much as I do. And so thank you guys. Looking forward to helping you build and grow your invitational. You don't have to ask twice. One call. No, I can't use that. I don't even like him like that. So yeah, just hit me up, man. And my line always open. I think I can still pay. I'm trying to figure out how to not have a phone bill and still do the things I need to do. You think I can make that happen?
I think you can make it happen. Anything is possible.
Anything is possible. That's my guy, Kevin Garnett.
That's my guy too. He's about to comment on that too.
Yeah. So I'm gonna get one on that. We already had this discussion. We both love KG.
Mm-hmm.
He was the ultimate competitor, man.
Yeah.
The I'm in your face type competitor. So hey, tomorrow, man, we got a lot of great special guests here on Prep News tomorrow. We got a lot of guys that are first timers coming on. That means that we're steadily building relationships, which is really good. Again, tomorrow we got a couple of more first timers. Got a return guest from this week coming back tomorrow. She's coming back to talk about all the extra adventures that she's going on, and she got a couple of her people. She bringing her people with her this time. So join us tomorrow. I don't know how to do that thing, but if you what a time change different is 10. If you down bottom, what a time change is what it is 9.
Mm-hmm.
So 10-9, 10 Eastern, 9 Central.
Mm-hmm.
See, I'm little smart there, man. Yeah, little bit. Again, thank you, Coach Marvin Davis. Remember, get off the bench, get into the game.